Back in March of this year, Arbor Realty became the target of a widely published short report by a company named Ningi Research. Ningi had made some damning accusations about Arbor Realty and how they've been conducting their business for more than a decade. In their report, they claimed the company had been misrepresenting their financials for years and that ultimately, they estimate a median downside of 52% of their stock's share price. Additionally, they claim that Arbor Realty created secret holding companies which held a portfolio of bad mobile home properties. It was honestly just full of all these outlandish accusations, and ultimately they claimed that Arbor Realty was about to meet their end. This report had caused the share price of ABR to drop by more than 25% over the course of a week following its release. The company actually responded to the report saying that it lacks merit and contains numerous inaccuracies, misstatements, and otherwise misleading allegations. This false and inflammatory report is a transparent effort to mislead the public for the purpose of enabling Ningi and its affiliates to profit from short positions on Arbor's stock. Contrary to this report, Arbor is committed to maintaining its books and records in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles in the US and adhering to the highest standards of corporate governance and internal controls. In the months following the report, the share price of ABR fully recovered and grew even higher than before the report ever occurred, ultimately proving that Ningi was wrong about their accusations. But as I suspected, Ningi probably exited their short position very shortly after the article was published, making off with a huge sum of money. Fast forward to today, and investors in Arbor Realty are now facing another short report, this time from a much more well-known organization. Recently, the company Viceroy Research published an article on Arbor Realty with a whole host of new accusations against the company. So in this video, we're going to take a look at this newest report and see if there's any merit in it. First off, when you first go to their website to read the report, I saw this strange pop-up appears before you can access anything else on their website. This instantly felt like what Ningi Research did on their website as well. If you recall, this is what their website looked like when you first access it. It's very unusual for a research company to have a disclaimer like this appear every time you go to their website. With Ningi, I tried to do some research because the authors never identify themselves anywhere. It's a complete mystery as to where their company is located. I might have found that their website is based out of St. Kitts and Nevis, which is a small island country in the West Indies. But the fact that these two websites have identical pop-ups like this leads me to believe that they're somehow connected to each other. Now, what sets Viceroy apart from Ningi is that Viceroy is actually a better-known organization. In fact, they even have a Wikipedia page, which I think could add some degree of authenticity to this report and has probably made more people concerned about this report than the Ningi report in March. But if you read their Wikipedia page, you'll see that in the last 3 years alone, this company has either been fined, investigated, or has lost a lawsuit 5 different times. In 2023, Medical Properties Trust sued Viceroy Research for publishing false and misleading statements about its business practices. In June, Medical Properties Trust won a preliminary ruling in its defamation lawsuit, and there's even more listed below on this page. In 2022, the Financial Conduct Authority, which is the UK's SEC, opened questions into Viceroy's research relationship with a Cayman Islands hedge fund with regards to collusion and insider trading. In 2021, the SEC ordered Viceroy Research to pay a $1 million fine for making false and misleading statements in a research report about the company Sino Biopharmaceuticals. In 2022, the German financial regulator BaFin fined Viceroy Research €1 million for publishing a research report that was misleading and inaccurate about a different company. In 2021, South Africa fined Viceroy Research for false and misleading statements about another company. This has all taken place in the last 3 years, and I think already casts a lot of doubt about this new Arbor report in my opinion. Moving on to the actual report, and again it looks very similar to Ningi's report in terms of formatting. The accusations are different, but this looks and feels very familiar already. First off, the formatting itself is inconsistent. Periods are added where periods shouldn't be, and there's also grammatical and spelling errors throughout the actual report. If you're writing and putting together a sophisticated research article, you'd think you could at least run it through a spell checker or a grammar checker. It takes literally seconds to do, but Viceroy apparently doesn't see the need to be professional. And I guess why would they, because it's clearly worked for them already as the share price of ABR is down over 11% since this report came out. On the first page of this report, Viceroy claims that Arbor Realty stands out as the worst of the worst and that they believe the company is worth $0.00. The first part of this report focuses a lot on their CLO investments that Arbor holds and that they're worthless according to Viceroy. Their dive into Arbor's CLO suggests its entire loan bank is distressed and underlying collateral is vastly overstated. Arbor Realty earns the vast majority of their revenue from lending to companies who need bridge loans to build or repair multifamily complexes. They aren't like most mortgage REITs like AG&C or Rhythm Capital who invest their money into already existing mortgage-related securities. But one of the biggest issues in this whole report is the lack of external sources. Viceroy makes all these claims and even provides figures on some of their pages, but they aren't transparent about where these numbers are even coming from. Some of the pages do have external links, but these links don't validate any of the metrics or figures that are mentioned in the research paper. Another issue is that a large part of this report is dedicated to criticizing the underlying assets that Arbor is invested in. On page 3 it says, most properties, even those with the best performing DSCR metrics, appear to be seriously undermaintained. It is obvious that these properties have not been properly rehabilitated. Poor security, vandalism, theft, and shootings are widely reported among properties. Owners appear to pay for and fabricate substantially all good reviews. Some good reviews appear to be from prospective tenants and form part of the lease application process. Management appears to be raising rents of properties without any actual rehabilitation. Viceroy doesn't even seem to understand the very basics regarding how Arbor Realty conducts their business. This company lends money to existing apartments and multifamily properties. Arbor has no ownership whatsoever of the actual apartments, unlike most equity REITs. They lend money and the borrowers pay Arbor back with interest. The quality or the state of the actual apartments is completely irrelevant to their business. The only thing that matters is that if the borrowers are paying Arbor Realty what they owe them on time. How well they maintain their properties makes no difference whatsoever and shouldn't even be included in this report. Yet Viceroy, for whatever reason, felt the need to post reviews from people living in some of these properties that Arbor Realty has lent money to. They should have known that this is useless information, and in fact I'm sure that they did because they just needed some additional filler in this report to try to make the company look bad. This is what most of the reference links are to, by the way, just negative reviews and stories about the properties that Arbor Realty has no ownership of. By the way, their About section on their website is also very vague. It says, "We are a group of individuals that see the world differently." In 2016, Pairing was introduced to Bernard and Lau through a mutual contact who recommended he collaborate with the young Australians. Bernard took an interest in short selling while earning an accounting degree from the University of Melbourne and teamed up with Lau, a friend who was studying engineering at the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology for research projects. The two quit their day jobs last year to focus on Viceroy full-time. Based on my research, the people involved in this company appear to have very little, if no professional experience in equity research or any kind of in-depth financial analysis experience whatsoever. Let me give you an example of an actual research company that publishes short reports. On May 2nd, Hindenburg Research published a report about Icon Enterprises, ticker symbol IEP. This article was actually a huge success in bringing down the valuation of Icon Enterprises, and I think it'll honestly be regarded as one of the best short reports ever written. You can see that we're actually allowed to go right to the report. There were no pop-ups or disclaimers that I had to go through first. The formatting is very consistent, the grammar appears to be correct, and every accusation has an external link to a source that we can see. And if you're wondering who is the author of this report, we can go to the top and click on About Us, and right here you'll see it's run by Nate Anderson. But this is what one of these websites is supposed to look like. In the end, I don't think investors should pay any attention to this report. I can't confirm it, but I do think Viceroy is connected to Ningi Research in some shape or form. Either they're run by the same company, or they both hire the same company to write these fake reports. I was skeptical even before making it to the report given how many times Viceroy has been fined or sued for lying in previous reports. Just like with Ningi, I'm not concerned and I'm certainly not selling any of my shares of ABR stock. But with that being said, that's going to conclude today's video. If you're interested, feel free to check out my Patreon where you'll find an Excel sheet of all of my holdings updated monthly. Plus it'll give you access to our Discord channel where we discuss higher yielding types of investments. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you liked what you saw, then feel free to hit that like button below and click subscribe if you want to see higher yielding investing strategy content. Again, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and until next time, take care.